Hey guys, Dude Legit City here. Today we're going to be going over the new Song of the Moon update for Oxygen Not Included. This is the major quarterly update that we expected since the June 2023 update was Quality of Life. And boy is this update going to change things. Expect new buildings, new resources, new food recipes, and a lot of improvements in the ranching category, including a Gassy rework. Unfortunately though, we won't be receiving a new story trait. I was hoping to find out more about Molly, the name on the tag from the ancient specimen. Nonetheless, this update looks to be very impactful, so let's dive in and start with the minor changes. Raw eggs now edible. The egg cracker building now has automation logic, critter responsiveness has been increased all around, the pufflet prince now acts as an adult and affects other puffs' egg chance, meters spawn higher in space, and meters shot down by the blast shots now return 25% of the meter's resource. You can no longer have Deuce manually deliver petroleum to the blast shot maker. The Paku 8 from feeder buff effect is increased from 1 to 2 cycles, improve the conductive battle heat transfer, spice grinders can now forbid mutant seeds, critters now stay wrangled in the vanilla biological cargo bay, pips now plant seeds in a vacuum, over 50 new cosmetics added, as well as various visual and bug fixes. They also made it so that the park room buff a +3 morale no longer overrides the nature reserve room buff a +6 morale if you happen to have both. However, the nature reserve room buff will always override the park room buff every time. Mellow Mallow, Bliss Burst, and Grubfruit Plant Seeds have been added into the CarePod catalog of care packages. This is great, specifically the Grubfruit Plant Seed, as it's possible to find a Sulfur Geyser and not have any Grubfruit Sweets or Sweetles, effectively making the geyser useless outside of fullerene production, which also could be bypassed if you have the correct space point of interest. The care package system itself has been improved as items and critters that require discovery now show up after cycle 500 regardless of their discovery status. Two new food recipes utilizing the raw egg has been added, one to the electric grill and one to the gas range building. The electric grill receives the souffle pancakes recipe, a 3600 kcal recipe that requires 1 unit of raw egg, which is 1600 calories, and 2 units of sleet wheat. This provides 8 morale when eaten. The gas range receives the mushroom quiche recipe, a 6400 kcal recipe that requires 1 omelet, 2800 kcals, 1 fried mushroom, also 2800 kcals per unit, and 400 kcals of raw lettuce. This provides a whopping 16 morale when eaten, and also the addition of lettuce means you get radiation resistance from the aquatic diet. All critter traps have been reworked and improved greatly and received new artwork. They are all now 2-tile tall buildings that have both input and output automation logic, no longer use bait and are indefinitely reusable rearmable, attracts critters when close enough, and had its resource cost changed from plastic to metal ore. If you happen to have a trap built in your save before the update came out, it actually keeps the old functions and old artwork. Honestly, while these changes are going to likely bring life back to the previously never used traps and will improve a lot of ranching designs, before this update, I don't think I've seen people actually use traps due to the cost and single-use function of the building. Now I could see it being used very often by every level of player. The changes are very quality of life and simple to use. I think Clay knocked it out of the park with this one. Next, we have the Bleach Stone Hopper building. This new building is in the refinement category and turns 30 kilograms of salt and 500 grams of refined gold into 10 kilograms of bleach stone and 20 kilograms of sand. It takes 480 watts of power to run and doesn't require duplicate operation. It's a new way to make bleach stone, but I'm not sure how useful this will be, and it kind of feels out of place as this doesn't really have to do with ranching. Before we go over the Gassy changes, let's look at how they were before. The Gassy has originally been a mysterious critter that didn't have much utility and required a lot of work to reach. Gassy only ate gas grass, an alien plant that's found in the same area as the Moos, and released natural gas when they did eat. The problem is that the plants required a lot of light and liquid chlorine to grow, making it not worth the effort. Even when the Spaced Out DLC came out of the Sun Lamp, not much changed with the Moos. And to make matters worse, they also couldn't reproduce, so you had to fly out to their planet each time you wanted more. Now with this update, the Gassy Moo has more features added in and feels more like a complete critter. While their diet still only consists of gas grass, they now produce more than just natural gas. Each time they graze and eat gas grass, they receive a welcoming moo buff that builds up Brackene at 25% per cycle and accumulation at 6% per cycle. This buff will last 0.7 cycles, but the Gassy Moo eats twice a day or once every zero point 0.5 cycles, so they could keep it up constantly. The accumulation reaches 100%, the Moo can start singing the songs of the Moo and attract another to join them, effectively becoming the Gassy Moo's way to reproduce. This, however, requires the Gassy Moo to have a clear view of space in order for them to perform their song. When blocked, they will have a muted debuff, noting that their vision is blocked, and the accumulation will stay at 100% until they're able to sing. When the new Moo joins, they will travel via Moo tier and crash land on the top of the map. They will start at age 0 and also be wild, and each Moo can attract up to 4 Moos in their life cycle, assuming that it's constantly being fed, and on death, each Moo provides 16,000 K-cows of raw meat. When the Brackene buildup reaches 100%, the Gassy Moo must be milked at the new milking parlor building. This new 2x4 building requires level 2 ranching skill to be used, but doesn't require power and can be used in lieu of a grooming station to fulfill the stable room requirement. Each time a Gassy Moo is milked, 200 kilograms of Brackene is created. Now, this new resource, Brackene, is a very unique resource that I think will be very game-changing. The game describes it as a sodium-rich liquid, and it can be consumed by both dupes and critters. The water cooler building now is an option to allow dupes to sip Brackene instead of water, allowing the dupes to receive a buff of 2 morale and minus 15% stress to the duplicate. This buff will last for 1 cycle. Critters can get their share of Brackene at the new Critter Fountain building. Once the building is connected to a supply of Brackene via pipeline, any nearby critter that could reach the building could take a sip to receive a hydrated buff that grants 5 happiness for 1 cycle. Each use from each critter will cost 5 kilograms of Brackene, and both wild and tame critters can consume it. Tame critters can be maintained without the need to be constantly brushed, saving a lot of routine grooming and duplicate labor. You'll still need the critter feeder or live plants for the grazing critters to feed them, since Brackene does not provide any nutrients. Grooming stations will still be needed, as the fountain does not tame wild critters, nor does it increase the amount of eggs a wild critter produces. Although I expect that to be how the players are going to utilize the new Critter Fountain building, the intended use is actually slightly different. The overcrowded debuff used to be a flat minus 5 happiness penalty regardless of the number of critters inside the room. Now that overcrowded debuff will scale with each additional critter over the limit. The initial penalty will be a minus 5 happiness for having 1 additional critter over the room limit. However, when you increase that to 2 critters over the limit, the penalty only drops down to minus 6. Add 3 extra critters, the penalty is minus 7, and so on. This cap will seemingly increase by 1 with each additional critter. There is no limit or maximum value for this penalty. Having both a fountain and grooming station means that you'll have a happiness value of 10, and with the minus 1 from taming a critter, you'll have net 9 happiness. This means that you can actually add up to 5 additional critters over the limit inside of your stable and keep them all happy. Critters at 0 happiness still are actually happy and will have that reproductive bonus. Now, what if you don't have access to Gassy Moos or can't reach them yet and you still want Brackene? You're in luck. The devs actually added in an alternative method to create Brackene, introducing the new plant Pulverizer. This new 2x3 building has only a liquid output pipeline, requires duplicate operation, and doesn't require power. All of the recipes will be shown on the screen, and they all require water at different values, and either of nosh bean, sleet wheat, or pinch of pepper plants. Each recipe will always net you 20 kilograms of Brackene. Dupes will have to manually deliver water to this, along with these seeds. But we're not done with Brackene just yet. Brackene can be refined, and of course there's going to be 2 methods of doing this: the new Brackwax cleaner building, or by boiling the liquid. As Oni players, we all know that if we were to manually boil this is going to be more efficient than utilizing the building. However, it is only 10% more efficient. Boiling 1000 grams of Brackene creates 100 grams of the Brackene wax and 900 grams of brine. The Brackwax Gleaner building consumes 1000 grams to only create 90 grams of wax and 810 grams of brine, but also 100 grams of carbon dioxide. The new 4x4 building costs 480 watts of power to run and has liquid pipes in and out as well as automation input. The CO2 is always going to be released into the open environment, similar to a coal generator. This doesn't require duplicate operation to run, however, will require duplicates to empty out the building of the Brackwax once it accumulates to 15 kilograms, similar to a desalinator. The resulting Brackwax is going to have two uses. The first use is going to be the increased travel speed inside the transit tubes. The building now has an enable smooth ride button that allows dupes to utilize the wax so that they could slide down faster. Each use will cost 100 grams of Brackwax. The second use is going to be for the new resource called Plastium. Plastium is basically an endgame version of plastic, having a higher melting point of 1826 Celsius, a plus 900 degrees overheat point, but the recipe requires thermium. It is made at the molecular forge, where every 100 kilograms of Plastium requires 70 kilograms of plastic, 15 kilograms of Brackwax, and 15 kilograms of thermium. This resource could be used anywhere plastic could be used. And that is going to be the Song of the Moo update. All in all, I think this is a great update. A lot of the ideas, concepts were executed very well. I love how impactful everything is, and we're going to feel it right away. We're probably also going to see some changes in ranching designs, as a lot of quality of life has been added as well with some of those buildings. But of course, let me know what you guys think of the update yourself with the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys.